All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I've been really busy. I wanted to do a recap of the Bard archetype live stream that Intrepid did just this last week, and I'm a little late to it. I wanted to explain why right here, but I hired out a construction company to work on a project on my house. They were coming in on Monday, and they said it was going to take 2 days. They looked at the house, they outlined everything, and they're like, yeah, this is a 2-day project. We'll be done Tuesday. Well, as they got into the project, some unforeseen circumstances happened, and they didn't get out of my house until Friday. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do, like talk to all of you guys on my computer about a video game that I'm very excited about, just couldn't happen. It just couldn't happen because I had people in my house the entire time. And so I had to wait until they were done. And so because their timetable got pushed back, my timetable got pushed back. Now, some of you guys may be asking yourselves, Else, why are you telling me about some construction company and delays? Well, guys, I'm a YouTuber, and this is a perfect segue into the first thing I wanted to talk about in this video, is the Alpha 2 Ashes of Creation's Bard Showcase was also going to be the date announcement for Alpha 2. For those of you guys that don't know, Alpha 2 is going to be their public test server when the game goes live, and before that, it's going to be their testing ground when they roll out different systems. So lots of players have signed up to test all these different systems, and as they create them and they go online, players will be able to, encounter the different bugs, test out the systems, provide feedback, and that announcement for that date was supposed to happen during this live stream. However, it was delayed. It got pushed back into October. So Steven announced that the Alpha 2 will be in October. The things got delayed a little bit due to unforeseen circumstances. Do you see the segue here, guys? Not bad. Anyways, they got pushed into October, and they said that in a couple weeks, August 16th, they will be pushing out a roadmap for Alpha 2. And so they'll be kind of showcasing how they're going to do rollouts for different testing phases and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. They'll be answering all of the biggest Alpha 2 questions. And Margaret even kind of hinted at arguably the biggest one. And I don't know if this is true, guys. I'll provide it for you guys, and you guys can leave it up to your own interpretation, but I'll just play the little clip here.
Also at the same time, when it comes to stability, when it comes to the polish that we want the intro to Alpha 2 have, October landed around that time frame. So we're pretty confident in October, very much so, to at least give you that month. And coming up for the roadmap discussion on August 16th, when we have that AMA, we're going to go into detail around what the plans are for Alpha 2.
Yeah. So prepare yourself for that. It's going to be a lot of information you guys have been asking us about. It will set the expectations so you guys have an understanding of what to expect going into Alpha 2 and then what to expect as we continue forward, and how long the testing phase will be. Because I know those have been some of the frequently asked questions we have. We know you guys have a bunch of them. We're going to try to address as many of the frequently asked questions as possible in that upfront roadmap section. And then, of course, any additional questions that we see coming down the line, we'll make sure are added to the mix.
Now, to me, when I heard this, I interpreted this as, hey, we are going to kind of provide a timetable for how long Alpha 2 is going to last. I don't know if they're actually going to do that. I don't think they actually will, but that's what it sounded like in the live stream to me. Now, if this is true, if they are going to do a kind of timetable for how long Alpha 2 is going to last, that's the same question as, when do you think Ashes of Creation is going to go live? Now, I'm not trying to get your hopes up or anything. I'm not trying to say this, but that part caught my attention. I will be tuning in to see if they actually give that question. Obviously, things can get delayed. Obviously, this isn't concrete set in stone or anything like that, but it was a very surprising, specific answer to what is happening here. And so the AMA happening in a couple weeks is something I'm looking forward to, and I will cover on this channel. Now, I wanted to get all the disappointing parts out of the way early on in this video because I've been excited about the Bard archetype for over a year now. I did a video discussing what I was hoping the Bard was going to be months ago, talking about Bards in social media, talking about Bards in different video games and how they can be a power amplifier. And the things that Steven and Intrepid have said about the Bard have been very exciting to me, and to a point that out of the 8 archetypes, it is in my top 3 of the most that I want to play. I don't know what class or what archetype I'm going to play yet, but Bard is up there. For me, it's Fighter, Rogue, or bard. And I've been really looking forward to this archetype showcase, and I don't think it disappointed at all, guys. I thought from power fantasy feel of what a bard is supposed to look like, I thought they nailed it. I thought they hit it out of the park. I thought it was really well done. Obviously, this isn't talking about things from a balance perspective. It is, does this look fun to play? And I have to say yes. I have to say that they hit the bard perfectly. And piggybacking off of that, we have now seen 6 archetypes, 6 of the 8 archetypes. And I think it is so cool that each archetype so far shown is its own dynamic playstyle. And this is what always pulls me into MMORPGs. I'm sure it's the same way for you guys as well. Having these different types of characters that play in different unique ways, that provide unique powerful buffs to your group, or they just play differently, is exciting. And so the fact that you can potentially get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of one archetype, and then you get bored, you change your mind, you can then switch into another archetype. Yes, you have to level up and do all those things. Having all these archetypes look and feel and play differently is so important. And so I think they nailed the bar. And so in this video, I'm not going to go into all the in-depth details of all the different skills and abilities. This is meant to discuss how I view the archetype as a whole afterwards. If you guys want to watch and see all the skills that they showed and go through and watch their entire thing, I'll provide a link in the description below. But I'm talking about these skills as if you've already seen them or you already kind of know what I'm talking about. But one of the first skills that they showed was a heal over time effect. It was a heal over time for your group that also buffs all healing received by 20%. So this amplifies the cleric. It also provides some heal over time for your group as well, basically providing survival. They also showed 2 different movement speed buffs that can stack on top of each other, providing up to 40% movement speed for your party. So if you're a smaller group and you're fighting a larger group, having that type of mobility is going to be extremely valuable for getting in and out of a fight. Movement is often king in outnumbered situations, and so seeing a bard provide up to 40% movement speed on paper right away is kind of crazy. And so I thought that was great. They also provide a very cool skill called Gambit. Gambit is essentially a skill to where if one of your party members are at low health, you can give them your health pool. You can give them some of your health, so you're sacrificing health from yourself in order to keep somebody else alive. And so once again, that's another very skill-intensive thing where a bard will have to, do a risk analysis of, hey, do I think I'm going to die in the next 10 seconds? Can I risk this in order to keep one of my teammates up? I think that's a very cool skill. Basically just transferring over that power to try and keep somebody else alive while also risking your own. And so these types of skill gap things I think are very interesting. Also, there's a big AoE debuff that you can provide to enemies to allow your party members to do more damage. All these things are really cool. A very cool dash skill on top of this. And then also a damage shield style ability that basically you in proximity to you, they get a damage shield that's a small health pool that basically absorbs damage and kind of protects them. And so when I talk about all these skills, what I was very curious about was how the bard was going to be able to support different groups. When you look at the bard is supposed to be a support class. And so when you look at the Holy Trinity, you have tanks, you have damage dealers, and you have healers. How is a bard going to be able to support tanks? How is a bard going to be able to support fighters? How is a bard going to be to support healers? And they've showcased that in this video. Everybody can use movement speed in a PvX environment. Everybody can use increased healing. Everybody can use a potential damage shield based off of like incoming damage in an area, and everybody could potentially want, well, not everybody, but tanks and damage dealers could use a damage debuff to do more damage as well. And so when you look at all these different skills, you can be a frontline bard, you could be a tankier style bard working in the front with fighters, working in front with tanks, supporting them with AoE debuff abilities. You could also provide increased healing for the group because you're activating a buff in their area, heal over times, and a damage shield. Or you could be in the back, providing just increased overall healing received and stuff like this. Or be kind of a middle line class where you're bouncing back and forth from the front line to the back line to support whatever you think is the most important. And so all that plays in with the high mobility that the Bard has and all the different support skills that the Bard is providing. And so I thought it was really cool. They also have a reversed, let me restart this. In other games that I've played in the past, there have been AoE damage based abilities that scale off of the proximity of enemies in the area. So in a 1v1 situation, an AoE skill might not do a ton of damage, but if there's 10 people in the area, it may double in damage or triple in damage based on the proximity of players, basically to disincentivize Zergs from operating in a large area, operating in a very clumped area. But the Bard had a reverse scaling mechanic where if there's a lot of people in the area, it doesn't do as much damage, but in a 1v1 situation, it will do more damage. They also have a sleep mechanic that is broken off of damage dealt, so you can sleep somebody, but if somebody does damage immediately afterwards, it breaks them out of it. And so this is a very cool skill. If a group isn't coordinated and they're attempting to sleep people over and over again, if the group isn't coordinating and they're just attacking with different damage abilities and they're not coordinating burst, it will get broken immediately. And so this is a type of skill that if your team coordinates a sleep properly and then they coordinate burst at the exact same time onto an enemy, it is a lot of damage in a window that leaves them unprotected. And so it is a type of skill that is good in a very specific environment with a higher skill cap, but it also isn't good in just a, hey, I'm going to run around in 30 people and spam the sleep ability and it's going to be very effective. I thought this was a very smart way to approach this. They also have a damage dealing ability that doesn't break off of sleep. So a Bard could be a very nice opener. You sleep somebody, you do this damage that doesn't break the sleep, and then you have your other damage dealers come in. I thought that was very cool as well. And so overall, I thought they nailed the Bard. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see a ton of cast times on the class. I think in an MMORPG in 2024, I think you need more dynamic playtime, and sitting in the back playing tunes all day isn't a way to go about doing it. And so having long durations of different buffs, like what the Bard has, having different skill amplification abilities for different groups, I thought was very effective. And I am very excited to test the Bard in October. I am very excited to get out there and get this. I really liked the fighter archetype livestream. I really did. Bard is up there. I would even say that the Bard archetype has me more excited to get into Alpha 2 and test things than even the fighter. And I've been saying since day one, like my number one archetype is going to be fighter or rogue, and in the background at a third has been Bard. But I keep thinking about how cool a Bard could really amplify a group could be. And seeing what it is so far, it just looks awesome. I think this is the best archetype showcase that they've come out with. So I'm done glazing the archetype showcase. If you guys want to watch the whole video, I'll provide a link in the description. You guys can feel free to go check it out in depth and provide, feedback yourself on this. And so I'm going to end this video here. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide it in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.